This conference will now be recorded.
Surya, so what and all covered till now?
Sorry.
What and all you have already covered till now?
So I have covered just the basics of your Java programming and like a sample Java program. And in the first class, I've just given the overview of what is the advantages of Java, what is a structured program, and what is object-oriented programming. And in yesterday's class, we have just covered what is a static and non-static. We are in the starting of Java phase. And you're joining the today itself.
Yes, I was not keeping that. So today for the first time I joined.
Oh, okay, fine. Actually, you can please go through the recording so you may get more clarity on it. So even I suggest the same thing. Like for example, if you missed some of the classes and if you are joining newly, I think every day we are having the recordings, right? So before come here, if you go through the recordings, that you can able to go in the same phase, right? So you'll not be having any queries, right?
But I'll complete.
Yes. So that will be very good. And like you are new to the Java or you have like experience in this, like coding part and everything, something like this.
And basic experience, it's been a long time I have used Java. So, I know the basics of it, but probably I need to catch up again.
Oh, okay, fine. You will be getting it. So anyone have the queries in the yesterday session? What we have seen, like having the like idea on static and non-static, right? Except they were some. Is any other person new? Is that joining today? Okay. I hope everyone is coming from last sessions, last two sessions. Fine. Sorry for a little delay today. Like some emergency came. So a small recap what we discussed yesterday. We have discussed what is a static and what is a non-static members. So static member means it can be a variable as well as a method. So whenever I talk about static, it means I'm talking about a class. Whenever I talk about non-static or instance, I'm talking about object. So your static will create for you will have a memory for static. The memory for static will be created at the time of class loading. So the memory for non-static member will be created at the time of your object creation. So can someone tell how I can call the static method? It's like to have two-way interaction. I'm just asking. It is not like something, but I just want that some answers from you, like the two-way interaction. I'm just asking it. That's it.
With the help of class name.
Yes, exactly. So whenever you want to call a non-static member, you will create an object, right?
Object. Yes.
Yes. So can I call a non-static member with a class name?
No.
But vice versa, can I call a static member with a by creating an object reference?
Yeah, you need to create that reference first. Then you can call it by dot reference dot and the name.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. My question is for example, you have a non-static method, right? So that non-static method, for the non-static method, I need to create an object and call it. The same non-static method I can call by using class name or not?
I think no.
It is yes.
Okay.
Sorry, non-static member you cannot call. Static member you can call with an object reference. Sorry.
Okay.
For example, you have a non-static method, but for that object creation should be masked. You cannot call with the class name. But if it is a static member, for example, if it is a static method, you can do neither ways. Like you can call with the class name and even you can call with an object reference. But when you do an object reference, it will show me a warning. So I'll just show. I think yesterday we have done with the student example, right? So in this student example, your display is what? It is nothing but your non-static member. So whenever it is a non-static member, non-static member is a non-static method. So for sure I need to create an object. So assume that if I'm trying to call this display method by using a class name, it should throw me a compile time error. So how I'm calling? I'm just calling it the class object creation. But if I'm trying to call that the display method by a class name, it will throw me an error. See, I'm just calling the display, and it will say you can also see that error, whatever it says. It says cannot make a static reference to the non-static method display from the type student. You cannot call that. Assume that you have a static method, some static void, some m1. So this is my static method. So can I call with, so for sure I should be calling with the class name. This is the convention, right? So can I call this static member or a static method by object reference? It means, can I call s1.m1? Yes, you can do, but st1.m1 I can call, but it will be giving him a warning, because always the static member should be called with the class name. Is this points clear, right? Okay. Today we'll just go with the constructors. So this is what your constructor is. Student with brackets. So generally by default every class will have a constructor. So whatever we have seen, whenever in the beginning class I told you the syntax of your object creation will be class name, reference variable, and a new keyword and a constructor. So I told you I'll be discussing the constructor on further upcoming classes. So now we are going to discuss this constructor. So what is a constructor? So constructor is something which looks same like your class name. So it should be the name should be same like class name, but it should not have a return type. Return type means even you should not write it as a void. It looks like method only, but the name should be class name. For example, I have a class A here. So I want to write a constructor for this. So how will my constructor looks? It looks same like class name and brackets. I'm just having this open bracket and close brackets and opening the method constructor and closing the constructor. Same like your method, but what a method will have a return type. So for example, return type is nothing but if I'm not returning anything from a method also, we should be putting it as void, right? But for a constructor, even you should not put it as a void. If you put it as void, it will become as a method. It is not a constructor. So generally there are two types of constructors you will have. One is zero parameter, or I can call this as default constructor. Second one is parameter constructor, parameterized constructor. So what is this zero parameter and parameter? So the name is itself indicates, right? So if you are not passing any parameters to a constructor, that you call it as zero parameter. And we have discussed what is a parameter also. And anyone, please let me know like if you are not clear with the terminologies, because we have discussed all these things. But please ask me in the middle also, right? What is a parameter or some basic word also, but basic terminology also. If you are not clear, please ask me, because if you cannot able to understand that, it will be very difficult for further, right? So here I'm not passing any parameter to this constructor, so I'm calling it as zero parameterized constructor. So what is one parameterized constructor? I'll write the same thing, but what I'll do, I'll just pass a one parameter to it. It may be any type. So this is my parameterized constructor, but how many parameters? One parameter. To pass two parameterized constructor. So there are only two types. One is parameterized, one more is nothing but zero parameterized. So by default, every class will have a constructor. So if you don't write a constructor in your class also, what happens? Your compiler is going to write the constructor for you. So we have seen the addition class and we have seen the
Surya,
student. Yes.
yeah, why this constructor has been written inside the class? What is the use of it?
Like I have not started the use of it. I'll be telling it. So for example, before telling you non-static and static and non-static also, after understanding the concept, I came up with the usage, right? So the same thing I'll do. So you understand the constructor concept, then you'll let to know what is the exact use of it. Is it fine?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So generally the constructors are used to initialize your instance variables. So I'll be telling you in in couple of minutes, that you'll get more clarity on what is this constructor and why. So generally when you have any topic in Java, for sure that should have some real-time usage. So we'll get to know that. But as of now, you are clear what is constructor?
Yeah.
Okay. So it is not like inside the class. Everything should be written inside the class. So there is nothing, not the constructor, not a method. Whatever you write in Java, that should be inside a class. There should be some without class there is nothing exists. Whatever you want to add a method, you want to add a variable, anything that you want to add, you should be writing inside the class itself, because that is our encapsulation concept. We have discussed this in the beginning of the first of our tutorial also. Here if you see in this addition or in the student class, this is my addition class, right? You do not see any constructor. I have not written any addition here, right? But there is no error. Why? Because there is no error if your class is not having any constructor at compile time, what happened? Your compiler is going to write a zero parameterized constructor or a default constructor for you. If your class is not having any constructors, if your class is having constructors, it will not write. But if your class is not having any constructor, what happens? At a compile time, your compiler is going to write the constructor. I think you are getting this. So assume that I am not having any constructors in my class A, and I'll have a main method and I'll do the compiling, right? So when I'll do the compiling, what happens? When I'll do the compiler, what compiler will see? Okay, there is no constructor, and compiler is going to write a zero parameterized constructor for you. So when you write a zero parameterized constructor, it's like it will write a zero parameterized constructor. There is no code and you cannot see any output. So whenever you create an object with this addition, it is going to call that constructor, but you do not get any output because the compiler is writing that. The compiler will be writing. So when you want to create an object of A also, you'll do the same thing, right? So class name, some reference variable equals to new A. Here what happens? It is going to execute the constructor which is written by compiler. The compiler will not write any code. It is just writing a plain constructor. So whenever you the object creation happens, then the constructor execution happens. It is similar like whenever you call a method, the method execution will happen, right? When you call an add method, the it will go to the add method and will execute, right? The same way, whenever you create an object, this constructor, after creating an object, the next step will be the execution of your constructor. Here you do not see anything because I do not have any constructor. Like your compiler is writing a constructor and there is nothing, it is written the code. Assume that I'm going to write a constructor here. So then what happens? Your compiler will not write the constructor. I'm writing a constructor in addition class. So I'm writing a zero parameterized constructor. Inside that, I'm just writing to make sure that it got executed, and I'm just writing system.out.println inside zero parameterized constructor to make sure that it got executed. So if you see here, I have an add method. So whether I'm printing that 15 value, and here I'm just writing inside zero parameterized constructor. So when I run this code, which one will execute first, whether add 15 or zero parameterized constructor inside zero parameterized constructor? Obviously this one, right? Because as I told you, whenever you first object creation is happening, next only you're calling a method, right? So it will come to the main method. So whenever you create an object, what happens? It will go to the zero parameterized constructor because you written like that. So it will execute this statement. And what happens? It will come back again to the main method. So this is the flow, right? Again, it will call your add method. It will go to the add method and it will execute this 15. So what could be your output inside zero parameterized constructor and your 15. Inside zero parameterized constructor. So first statement will be your constructor statement. At the time of object creation, it will go and execute this. Why you did not got that output before? Your compiler will write this and compiler will not write any code. That's the reason you are not getting any output in the before case. So but by default, it will have a constructor. So now your compiler will not write any constructor because already you have this zero parameterized constructor. Neither you have 0 or 1, it will not write, your compiler will not write. So when your compiler will write a constructor, whenever your class is not having any constructor, neither 0 or 1, and it will write which parameter, it will write which constructor, it will write only the 0 parameter, it will not write one parameterized constructor. So if you are joining today and if you have not gone through that yesterday's recordings and if you're not clear with the yesterday's topics also, this could be little confusing for you. Like in Java, everything is linked actually. So one day if you miss the session and if you're not clear with the one day's topic, obviously the second day it will be like a question mark for sure, because what is a class and what is a method, this flow, everything should be is linked, right?
So this constructor, right? So is there any specific type of instructions we are writing in the constructor, or just I mean, what
Yes,
is the
yes,
actual?
I'm going to tell you that. So why you need this constructor and what is this purpose, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So I'll just take a constructor. Otherwise, I can able to take the student class itself. Why to disturb this? I'll take one more class. So this is how you will be creating a class in Java. Example. So I'm just taking some int ID or some I have taken int ID, right? So here I'll be creating an object. of this constructor, sorry, of this class, some ex as a reference variable. So I'll print this ID. So I'm printing this ex.id, which is, so as I told you, whenever you create an object which for which variables it will create a memory, it is going to create a memory for a non-static member. So ID, it will going to create an ID, right? So but what will be the value of this ID? Can someone tell what will, if I print what?
Zero. It's a zero
Yes,
now because you have just declared it and you have not assigned any value.
value. So by the default, the value for this non-static variable will be 0. Right? So, but what I need at the time of initializing itself. So whenever, so it means whenever the object is creating, so whenever, as I told you yesterday, whenever your object is creating, this is my constructor exc. So that is nothing but your exc. So what it will take, it is going to take all the non-static members. So what is my non-static member here? That is a, which is going to take it as 0. So whenever the object is creating, what value it is giving? It is giving it as 0. But what I want, whenever the object is creating, I do not want to initialize with the 0. So I want that values to be initialized with some value. Like I want that variable to be initialized with some value, with some 2 or something, right? So whenever, for all the non-static members, at the time of creating that non-static member, that value, I want that value to be initialized with some, sorry, I want that variable to be initialized not with 0. I want that variable to be initialized with some specific value. So then where I will be declaring that, I can able to declare that value in my constructor. So what I will do, I'll write a constructor. Inside that constructor, I'll change that ID value equals to some 3. So it means at the time of creating the object itself, what it will do, it will not be creating with the value as 0 for a. What it is going to do, it is going to create the value as 3 for that instance variable. So now if I execute it, it will not be the 0, it will be the 3. Why? Because at the object creation, which one will execute? Your constructor will execute. So what code you are writing? You are making that instance variable value to 3. So at object creation, it will not be with 0, it will be with 3. So now if I print this, it will be 3. That I. You got it, right? So whenever you want the instance variables, or it is not like only the instance variables, so what you want to be written in a constructor, so what kind of code that you written in a constructor. So whenever the variables value or some part of the code, I want to execute something at the time of creating an object, I want to give for some variables, I want to give the values, right? So it is starting of object application, like whenever you are creating an object itself, you want some code to be executed, right? So but how many times that is executed? Only once, right? So this is going to executed only once whenever the object is created. So for example, when you create a second object, again this will be executed, right? So that kind of logic you are going to write it in your constructor.
And we can also again initialize, I mean, what I can say, assign some value before printing out, right? System out.println, before doing it, we can assign some values here as well, right?
Yes,
To
we can
ID,
do. Yes,
if we want. Okay.
You can do like this. Now if you print, it will be the 4, but you are not doing it the object creation.
Yeah.
But when you want to do that at object creation, you need to do it, and you get to know this more usage when I discuss with the parameterized constructor. I'll tell what exactly this helps you with the parameterized constructor. With zero parameterized constructor, you may feel that okay, this is not much useful, but when I discuss the parameterized constructor, you makes this very useful. You understand this how this okay, this will be very useful.
Okay.
Okay. Here, when I use for zero parameter, when you go for two parameter. So for example, I want what my all the variables value, all times all the variables value to be the same. Then I can go for your zero parameterized constructor. What I mean to say is nothing but I have one object, right? So if I am trying to create one more object, so assume that this is my ex1. So I'm just printing that ex1.id. So similarly, I'll be creating a second object that is nothing but my ex2, right? And I'll be printing that ex2.id also. Now we are now what you are doing, you are creating two objects. So how many instance variables will be created? Two. As I told you, because for whenever you create an object, it is going to take all instance variables. So ex will have the three. Same like what happens whenever you create one more object, that is your, this is nothing but your ex1 one object, and this is nothing but your ex2. So what this object will also do, it will also take that instance variable. So but what will be the instance variable value? It will be again the same, because whenever you use this, what happens, this will execute, and what will give this id? That will be 3. So this is for first object. Whenever you execute the second object, what happens, again the same constructor will be called, and what will be the id value? It will be 3. So the instance variables, the instance variable value will be same for all the objects. Whenever you want this scenario, then what you do, you use zero parameterized constructor. So when I print ex1.id and ex2.id also, what is the value I'm going to get? I'm going to get the same 3. This is for object 1, this is for object 2. This value is same. So when you go for zero parameterized constructor, when you want some value that should be same for all the objects, then you can declare that in zero parameterized constructor, right? Then you can have a doubt that I can make it as static. Static is different. Static means it is only one but commonly shared among all, but not that I want that is different for all the objects, but that value should be same. You understood the difference, right? Any confusion?
No, we are good.
Okay. So you may get doubt, right? When you make it as static, it will be same, but it is the only one that will be shared commonly. But for a non-static, it is not like one variable. It is not. It is like two variables, but that value should be same. So then you will be declaring that inside the zero parameterized constructor. So then we'll go for one parameterized constructor. So when I want to go for one parameterized, very simple. So when you want that id value not to be same. So generally that id value I do not want to be the same. So then what I'll go? I'll go for one parameterized constructor. So what I'll do here, whenever I'm creating an object, I'll pass the value what I required. I'll pass it as 1. So here what I'll do, I'll declare that one parameter int id, or I can say int I. So then what I'll do, instead of hard coding that 3, what I'll give this id. So at the time of creating the object, whatever the value that you are passing, that will be assigned to your instance variable. So I'll pass it as 2 here. The 2 will be assigned. Now if I print this, so what will be my output? It will be 1 and 2. Yes. So
Yes,
what is
because
the
we pass in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
This one will be given to I, and that I will be given to ID. That is the first object, and the 2 for the second object. So
Yes.
before case it was same values because it is 0 parameter. Now when it is 1 parameter, whatever the value that you are giving, it is passed over here, right? So when you go for 1 parameter, whenever you want all the instance variables, the instance variables values should be unique for every object. Then you go for parameterized constructor. Whenever you want that instance variable value same for all the objects, then you go for 0 parameter. So how this 1 parameter is useful? Assume that you do not have 1 parameter here. Here we do not have any constructor, right? In this case, we do not have any constructor. Your student is having only ID. Assume that your student will not have only ID, right? The student will have the name also. The student will have an address also, right? And student may have some other fields also, right? It may have 10 fields, right? Assume that if you are not having any constructors and if you want to give the values to the student, so what I need to do, I need to follow the same scenario, right? Student1 dot id equals to 1, student1 dot name equals to some Raj. So student2 dot name equals to, for this student I'm giving a name called Ram. Assume that if you have only 2 properties, assume that this is what you are doing when you have 2 properties itself. Assume that your student is having 10 properties, right? Like name, address, city, all this, mobile number and all. So then what you need to do? Student1 mobile name, student2 address, like this. So what you are doing? You are creating an object once and you are trying to do all this and you are increasing the code, right? So if you are not having a constructor, so but this will become very easy whenever you are trying to create an object itself, you can pass these values, right? So then that will make very easy. So how can you achieve that? You can able to write a 1 parameter or 2 parameterized constructor based on the parameters that I have. So how many parameters, based on the properties that I have. So the student is having only 2 properties. I just want, at the time of creating my student object, I want these 2 properties to be unique. Obviously every student will have the unique name and unique ID. So where I will pass that? I'll pass that in my 2 parameterized constructor. So what I'll do here, I'll be taking it as int id and string name, otherwise string num and int I. This string num and int I are what? This is nothing but my local variables. So whatever you declared here will be local. As a parameters or inside a method, you declared anything that will be a local variable. You can able to easily identify that with the color also. If you see this id is a non-static variable, it looks in a dark color, blue color, but this I is a local variable which looks in a light color. And what I want to do, I want to give the local variable value to the instance variable value. Then what I'll do, id equals to I. At the time of creating an object, I'll pass some I value. That I value where I'm giving it to the instance variable. The same thing, name, this is nothing but my instance variable, object level variable, and num is nothing but the local variable that I'll be getting when I'm creating an object. So that way I'm giving it to the instance variable. So here what I'll do, here now I'll not have 0 parameterized, I'll have 1 parameterized. Instead of passing id 1 Raj like this, what I'll do, I'll be passing it here at the time of creating an object. It will be very easy for a developer and it will reduce their code, right? So creating an object once and passing all the 10 properties or 20 properties you are having. So instead of that, at the time of creating itself, you're passing it. So 1, comma, Raj. So the same thing you do here. I'll not be passing std1.name, std2 dot like that. What I'll do, I'll be passing it, creating an object. So 2, comma, Ram. So what happens? This one will be given to I, that I to ID, same Ram. So at that at the object creation, why 2 parameter? Because there are 2 parameters. One is an int and a string. So the same thing I declared here. Int and a string 2 parameter. This gets called. And I value is 1 given to ID, Ram given. The second time, the same scenario. If you want, I'll debug and show. 2 will be given to I, Ram will be given to name. The same thing to an instance variable. Whatever we done with this, I just commented out and I'm doing it in a constructor. If
So
we
this one
execute,
is parameterized constructor, right?
yes, parameterized constructor. And
Parameterized, yeah.
you got that usage, right?
Yeah. That we create with the I mean with the local variable we have I mean declare in the student itself, right? Student constructor itself, and then we call them by the int id and string name, and whatever we are passing in the main, it is passing in here, and we are just printing it out
Yes,
in
exactly.
the display method. Yeah.
So we are giving it to instance variables. This local variable I, we are giving it to an instance variable ID.
Yes.
The
ID
num
and
is variable num, we are giving it to name. Is it clear for all? Because these are very basics, it should be very clear. If you have any confusion, please let me know here itself, because little further will make the things very confusing if you are not clear with the basics. I'm okay to repeat the concepts. I'm okay to spend some more time, but I just want that everyone has clear on this.
Hi, Shurya. I have one question.
Yes.
Yeah, as you said, there is a two types of constructor, right? One is a default, one is a parameterized. So can we make it as a in front of constructor? We can use public void.
Sorry.
I mean to say, in front of constructor, we can use a public void. Like,
Yes, you should not use. If you use a void, it is not a constructor. It will become as a
yes,
method.
yes, yes. So
It will
okay,
not be a constructor. It will not throw any error, but it will be a method.
yes, yes, correct.
It will become as a method. So this has no effect. So it will say there is no one. It will not be considered as a constructor itself.
Okay, but by default, it is public, right?
Which one?
If any constructor.
You are asking about the access specifier. Yes.
Yes, yes, yeah. Okay, okay, thank you.
Don't worry about access specifiers. We'll come to that. I have not started access specifiers.
Okay, okay.
Like we have public, private, protected. We'll just go with that access specifiers.
Okay,
But
noted.
in front of a constructor, if you write void also, it will not be treated as a constructor. It will be treated as a method. So now when you
Yes.
want to call this, you need to call it as a method. So you see that is a warning. The method has a constructor name. You understood this?
Yes, yes,
The
correct.
method has a constructor name. So it is treating it as a method and telling that it is having a constructor name.
Okay,
So that will not become a constructor.
okay, thank you.
1 minute. I'll just get some water. Hmm. Hmm. Can you hear me right? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I was just in a break. You were asking something? Someone? No queries up to this, right? Okay. So one question here: can I write a zero parameterized construct? Or can I create an object with zero parameter in this case? So here,
Yes.
if you see, this is my addition class, right? And I do not have this zero parameterized constructor. Assume that I do not have this zero parameter. There is little confusing here. Is it throwing any error?
No,
Why?
No.
because default constructor will come into the picture if you
Why
don't give.
compiler? Yes, exactly. Compiler is going to create the zero parameterized constructor when we don't give this, right? So I can able to create the zero parameterized constructor here. So can I do the same thing here? Can I create a zero parameterized constructor here? So if can I create, it means can I create an object with zero parameter? It is like not zero parameterized constructor. Here what I'm doing, I'm creating an object with zero parameterized constructor that is not giving me an error. Why? Because compiler is writing that zero parameterized constructor. The same way, can I create an object with zero parameterized constructor in this case? I have already created an object with two parameterized constructor. So can I create one more object with zero parameterized constructor here? It will throw me an error or not if I do that?
I think they should, because this will be looking for the okay, maybe not.
Okay.
They should be looking for some value that which you need to provide. So the parameters that which is required, because you have created you have defined parameters above, right? So this might be looking for those two parameters.
I have already given, right?
Yes. So so whenever you are passing a 0 1, so this will I mean this will be giving an error without any
Yes.
value.
Why? So here it is not giving an error. Here
Right, because you have not you have not declared any or define any constructor with any value, right? Because the rule is void now. Rule is getting false now. In this case, rule will be because compiler is creating one without any parameterizer, without
yes.
any parameters. So that's why this is not failing, and the other one is failing because you have created a kind of a constructor in which two values needs to be put in. So if you are not putting both the values, then this will be then you are defining the this what I can say, the rule which you have declared earlier.
Yes,
Or
exactly.
okay,
Yes. Yes. You can continue something you want to tell.
that's it.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. That's it. So like mostly whatever you said is right, but I'll just make it more clear. Like why, as I told you, your addition, like why I'm not getting an error, because your compiler will write a constructor. So if and only if your class is not having any constructor, your compiler will write. Here my class is not having any constructor. That's the reason your compiler is writing zero parameterized. If you write one parameter here also, it will throw an error because your compiler will write only zero parameter, right? But in this case, why if you are trying to create a object with zero parameter, we will get an error because already we have a two parameterized constructor. So whenever your class is having a any constructor, neither two or any constructor, your compiler will not write this constructor, obviously. So that's the reason you are getting an error. What you told is like in that way also, this is the way also, right? So here you are getting an error because compiler will not write. Why compiler will not write 0? Because already you have this 2 parameter. So whenever you want to create an object of object with 0 parameter, when you have other constructors, then what you need to do, it is your user responsibility to write that 0 parameterized constructor. Then that will not have an error. Are you clear?
Yes, to me, I'm clear.
Okay. Thanks. I hope everyone, right? Fine. A small discussion, and after that we'll wind it up. So if you see here, what is my local variable value? I. What is my instance variable value? ID. What is my local variable value? Num. Here it is name. But generally, when you do an application, your local variable value and instance variable values will be same, because when you have an ID and name, so for an ID and name, what will be an alternatives? Nothing, right? So obviously you'll be giving your local variable values also ID and name only. So I'll give my local variables values also ID and name. So when I give an ID and name, I should be changing here also, right? So then what will be my output? If I give my local variable value and instance variable values are same, and if I print this display method student ID and name, so what will be my values? So don't worry about non-static concept, static concept here. So here I'll be printing the name ID. So can you tell me what will be this ID and name? It will be one and one Raj, two Ram, or something else. In this case,
One ID name, and what you're passing down there is one Raj and one and Raj.
yes, I'll format this. I commented so these comments may look I have commented all this. So I'm just passing this when I'm creating an object, I'm passing one and Raj, two and Ram. So that I'll be giving over here one and Raj. Now before, what happened? My local variable name and instance variable names are different. Now what I meant, my local variable name and instance variable names are same. So then there is no effect of this assignment. That's what the warning is showing. So now if I print this, what will be my ID and name? It will be one and Raj, or two Ram, or some other.
How
Is
you
my
are going
question
to differentiate? I mean, how this compiler is going to differentiate that which ID you are calling and which ID you are assigning into the ID local
it cannot,
variable and the.
yes, exactly. It cannot differentiate. In this
So
case,
in
it
that,
cannot.
okay.
Whatever you told is right. It cannot differentiate. You see, it is saying that there is no effect. So your compiler will not know what is my local variable and what is my instance variable when the names are same, right? So
Right.
this assignment is having not an effect. So whatever you are telling is right. So it cannot differentiate and it cannot assign. So whenever it cannot do and it cannot assign that, so what will be your ID and name? Obviously, it will be your default values, right? So this will not have any effect. So what will be your default values? 1 and null. Sorry, 0 and null. Right?
0 and yeah.
So for an int, the default value is 0. For a name, for a string, the default value is null.
null.
So print this, that will be your output. So 0 and null, why 3 is coming? Here I'm giving it as 3. That's the reason.
Okay.
So 0, null, 0, null for 2 students. Student on display, 2 student 2 on display also. So then how can I make the difference from the local variable to instance variable? So there the keyword comes this. So this means an object level. So this dot id, if I say, then I'm making the difference between my local variable and instance variable. So when I want to make this as an instance variable, what I'll use this dot id. So then you
So
can
this
see that
is
object,
referring to the referring to your local, or the one which we have. Okay. Okay.
this refers on object. This stands for object. So
Okay.
local variable I'm giving to an object level variable or
Got
instance
it.
variable.
Got it. Yeah, color combination is also got changed, so we can identify.
Yes. So this is nothing but your instance variable id. This is nothing but your name is nothing but your instance. Yes, that color combination also. The dark will indicate that it's an instance variable. Light color indicates it's a local variable. So
Yeah.
this stands for object, current object. So how you make the local variable and instance variable names, instance variable, when the local variable and instance variable names are same, how you can make the differentiation by using a keyword called this. So this dot id, if I say this, it stands for the current object variable. This dot name, if I say, that is current object name. So when I pass student, when I create a student one object, what is my current object? That is my, this means current object, right? What will be my current object? In that case, student one. So whenever I do for second object, whenever you create a second object student, again it will call the same constructor. At that time, what will be my current object? It will be the second object. So that's the reason, again you will be getting the same output. 1 Raj, 2 Ram.
Yeah.
1 Raj, 2 Ram.
2 rounds. Yes.
Is this clear
Yes.
up to this? Okay.
Yeah.
Any queries for others on? Is it like 3 sessions? I don't know, like anyone you're facing like a little bit fast or a little bit some confusing. I'm confusing you, or please let me know anything so we can able to make that changes in further classes also. Is it that I'm
No,
going?
this is good because since I have left a touch with Java, and I'm just copying pasting from the Google. Most of the coding I understand, but I'm copying pasting from the Google. So it was
Okay.
like it was working till now, but get to know is much better, right? Writing, let's say if you want to write some complex code or something, then knowing is better.
Yes, yes.
So I think we can call it a day now. It's already
Yes, yes. I'm just thinking to wind it up. Anyway.
okay.
Like I don't know, like I'll so 1 hour session, right? So it's like
Yeah.
I want to complete the like I do not want to leave it in the middle, so I was just taking it as 10 for 15 minutes of so because if I start the same thing tomorrow, I should have recollect all the things, right? So that's the reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Surya, hi, this is Shravanti. So, can you just publish the topics or what are you going to cover?
Yes, already syllabus was shared actually in the group itself.
Oh, okay. Sorry, yeah. Sure, sure.
Okay.
It's for how many days?
It's for 10 days actually. The last maybe this
Okay.
Sunday, coming Sunday. The
Okay.
course is.
Sure, sure. Yeah. Thank you. I'll follow up with them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Any queries today? Shravanti?
No, I think we are good actually. They are
Okay.
quite clear. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Maybe
you.
one small idea, like, I mean, probably you can give us some assignment type of questions also. Maybe if we have some time, we'll work, and that will really help us practice, or
Yes.
whoever has time,
For
maybe they can.
Uh,
Yeah.
thanks for that also giving that suggestion. Even I planned it to give. I will be forgetting that. Even I have that.
Okay.
Okay. So what we do? Actually, I have given one of the thing, but no one has done it. So like even I forgot to ask that. So in the beginning of the
Okay.
class, I have asked all of you just it's like a simple one. I have written only for addition, right? So I have asked to do it for the calculator, right? So now also can it's like I'm just doing it as now like an assignment. So what you do, write a function, a class called calculator, and where you write addition, subtraction, division. And what I want is nothing but in that every concept should be covered. For example, the concept in the sense, for example, write a zero parameterized not constructor, like zero parameter add method. When you pass when you write a sub method, make it as 2 parameter or 1 parameter, right? And make some null method as a static method, make some method as non-static method. So try to cover all the concepts. Like it is your choice, whatever the method that you take it as, but every method should have some uniqueness. Like if it is parameter, that should be 1 parameter, that should be 2 parameter. And if it is some method is static, and some method not some other method should be non-static. Like that, you write a calculator application and call all the methods. Is it clear?
Yes, Surya. Yeah, we got it.
Okay.
Call the construct the different parameters. Whatever you explained, you want us to leverage that and do it.
Yes. You can add a
Yeah.
constructor. You can add a constructor even as
Okay.
well, right?
Yeah.
Like the different way of calling. Like for a static, you'll call in different way. For non-static, you'll call it different way, right? So that everything you will be writing it in one class. That is calculator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, Surya. Yeah, we do that.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. I'm winding it up. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.